Hello, everyone. Good morning. I hope you're all staying safe and sane. I hope everyone is well. Today's webinar will be about e-commerce company setup. So if you're looking forward to set up your e-commerce business, then this is the right course for you. Before we start, I would actually like to thank the TRA for actually letting us to be part of this amazing TRA Virtual Academy. And I would like as well to thank their amazing effort for making sure that everything runs smoothly. Now, before I start, let me first introduce myself. So I'm Emi El Hasmi. I'm a project manager in Creative 971, and I've joined the team in February 2019. Being a fashion designer has also helped me in developing a detailed eye to design UI and UX e-commerce website, aside from project management, of course. Now, let me first give you a brief introduction about our company before we dig into the topic. Creative 971 is a 100% e-commerce expert. We develop cutting-edge websites for innovative retail brands, and we are an e-commerce web design and development agency. Creative 971 is owned by Nico and Julia. Both of them are siblings. Creative 971 was founded in 2016 as an e-commerce agency, which is purely working on Shopify and Shopify Plus platform. In today's course as well, whatever I will be discussing, let's say the payment gateway and even the delivery courier, I will be giving you some information about what works with Shopify Plus and what works with Shopify and Shopify Plus. So basically, as we only work on Shopify Plus, then the course will mainly focus on Shopify and Shopify Plus platform. The number 971 were chosen due to our commitment and deep gratitude towards the UAE and GCC country, because our logo and brand name is called Creative 971. We have hosted a lot of Shopify and Shopify Plus conferences as well. So aside from e-commerce development and design, we do host one Shopify Plus conference a year and two regular Shopify conferences per year. Aside from that, we do have online training academy as well. Creative 971 online training academy. You could visit our website, and from there you could be redirected. And if you're looking forward to start up an e-commerce business and you want a full detailed course on actually all the knowledge that you need to start a business, then please check it out, and you could of course buy it. So it's a full e-commerce blueprint program within our region. Our partners are TRA, TLZ, delivery and logistic partners, payment gateway providers as well. So we make sure that we are providing our customer with A to Z solutions. Now, let's dig into the topic. Today's agenda is about e-commerce company setup. So basically, if you're a startup and you want to set up your e-commerce business, then this is the right course for you. Just to let you know what we'll be discussing. So first, we will discuss how to start an e-commerce business. So we'll give you step-by-step points. And then second part will be 5 do's in business startups, what you should actually do to start a business in Dubai and UAE, of course. So it's mainly focused to the people in the UAE. How does payment gateway work? Here we will be giving you some of the technical details. Of course, you don't need to know, step by step how the payment gateway actually works, because this is up to the payment gateway team themselves. But for you, it's important to understand the process, just to have a general knowledge. And I will be discussing with you some examples, payment gateway examples as well, that you would need to integrate in your website. And lastly, we will be discussing example of delivery services. Now, as you all know, the e-commerce business industry is currently exploding. Shopping online, it used to be only a convenience and luxury, but now it is a necessity due to the situation and due to the technology. Everyone now is using their mobile phones, their tablets, their laptops. So e-commerce has actually exploded a lot. And it was growing fastly and crazy from 2015 until today. E-commerce has been growing for a while, and the numbers below, which I will be discussing now, don't account for the recent events leading to an increase in e-commerce sales. So what we'll be discussing in here, it's basically a basic study. But recently, due to the COVID-19, due to the situation, people are staying at home and hence people are feeling more convenient and comfortable purchasing online rather than going to the stores, and hence e-commerce retail sales is highly increasing. So from 2015 until today, 2020, as you can see, around times four of the e-commerce sales increased. So the e-commerce sales increased by 4 times. In 2015, it was around $1.5 trillion, and until 2020, it's $4.1 trillion. So as you can see, the retail e-commerce sales worldwide is increasing and not only doubling, but it's times four now. Well, basically, that's the study that they consider that in 2021 it will be $4.8 trillion, but due to COVID-19, it will definitely be higher than that. Now, let's start with the step-by-step process. So how to actually start an e-commerce business. Online retail is a booming business, but too many e-commerce business struggles to get attraction. A lot of people now are moving forward to open their e-commerce business. But if you don't actually know, or if you don't have the right knowledge, and if you don't know how to actually use your e-commerce in a right way, and if you don't follow the steps, then basically you will have an e-commerce website. Yes, of course, you could have it easily, but it won't succeed and it won't last for long. So for you to make sure that you're having a successful e-commerce business, it's not only about starting your business, but you want your business to be sustainable and successful as well. You need to follow the steps that we will be sharing now. Use the information that we will be sharing to set up your e-commerce store. You need to protect yourself legally, get your finances in order as well, market, and of course, sell your product and start building your store. So there is nothing more rewarding than starting a business from nothing. So you're starting your business by yourself from scratch and you're watching it grow. You build it up and no one can take it away from you in the future. So let's dig in with the important details. Step 1, you need to first research e-commerce business models. So before you actually start, a lot of people don't have an idea about what they want to sell. You know, if you're that kind of person that you're only thinking of having an e-commerce business, then step 1 is you need to research an e-commerce business model. Beginning your research is the first critical step. So of course, everything starts with research. The more knowledge you have, the more better it is. Don't operate off of a hunch. So growing your online store business is an investment. You should treat your e-commerce as an investment. So in the beginning, you need to invest not only money, time, and knowledge as well. So you need to invest in your business so that later on, you will get it back. If you did not invest much in the beginning, you will struggle later on in the future, and it may not be very successful. There isn't a single business structure that works for everyone. So each business is different. Service-based business, software, digital product sales, and physical products are just the tip of the iceberg. So let's say you cannot, if you are willing to sell garden equipments, you cannot check and compare your business with a fashion e-commerce website. It's two completely different business plans, and the applications and software that this fashion e-commerce is having will be completely different from what you actually are looking for. So make sure that you're doing your research based on the business models. Before you decide on what to sell online, you need to understand the different business models available. This will impact your business structures. There is a lot of different business models. There is B2B, B2C, which means if you're looking forward to sell to customers, then you need to develop a website in a specific way. If you want to sell to business, which is B2B, business to business, then you need to sell in bulk quantities. You need to understand the business models. How does it work usually? And of course, your design and development of your e-commerce website will look completely different. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is to start an e-commerce niche research. So you need to actually start your e-commerce niche research. You need to know who do you want to sell to. So you need to target. It's not, so let's say you have your research and then you are just reducing or narrowing down your resources, or let's say narrowing down your options so that you know where you should actually start and who you need to target. It pains us when people build their e-commerce site and it's filled with hundreds of products, dozens of categories, and no real focus. So let's say you have an e-commerce website, you're selling phone cases, you're selling fashion clothes, you're selling home decor, you're selling a lot of different categories and different products. You're not actually focusing on one thing. If you are a startup, this will be very hard for you to sustain it in the future. First of all, the user will feel completely lost when they visit your website. You will be having a lot of products. You need to focus yourself in a lot of things, a lot of categories. You need to know what applications to use for that specific category, how the product page should look like for this category and for the other one. So you shouldn't have the same product page template for clothing and mobile devices, let's say. It's completely two different things, and you need to treat it as such as well. Unless you have a massive budget, you can be the next best buy or Amazon. So if you have a massive budget and you are willing to market your website, just heavily and strongly, and your plan is to actually be the next best buy or Amazon, then you could do so, but it needs a very huge budget, and that's not basically for the startups. If you're a startup, then startups are basically having limited budget for them to start, and they are just investing time and money in their business. So you need to as well consider your financials. Choosing your niche is the most important step in opening your online store. Start this process by identifying successful companies already working in the space. So if you are looking forward to open an fashion e-commerce website, then your research should be based upon other fashion e-commerce websites as well. So you need to only compare yourself or make your research depending on what product you're going to sell, who are you looking forward to sell to. So your niche, your e-commerce niche, this will be actually your research margin, let's say. Make sure that the area is competitive. Of course, if you want to start an e-commerce business or any business in general, if it's not competitive, then this means that the market does not demand your product, and hence it won't be successful. Having a competition does not only mean that your market will be successful, but it gives you a push to always be to enhance your services, to actually work harder on yourself and have a better e-commerce website. So your business will be more and more successful if the competition is available. If there is no competition, then you won't have this push to actually work harder on your e-commerce, or let's say or on your business in general, and you won't be able to learn from other people's mistakes. So it's very important to learn from other people's mistake. You will do your research, you'll see what they're doing wrong, and you'll try to avoid it. So it's like you are studying the actual business model, and you're studying the mistakes that they are doing, and you need to try to avoid that. Step number 3 is to validate target market and product ideas. So you need to know who you're targeting. So you need to know your customers. Now that you've identified a niche and business model, you might be tempted to start hunting for products to sell. Don't. Before you do that, you need to think about product ideas, think about personas. So you need to think about your own business plan. You need to think about how do you want to represent your business? How do you want to represent your e-commerce website? And then you can't actually expect people to buy your product if you don't know who you're selling to. So you need to know your target people. You need to know your target customer. Are you targeting people in the UAE? Are you targeting young people? Are you targeting businesswomen? Are you targeting businessmen? Are you targeting business individuals in general? Then when you know who you're targeting, you will design your website accordingly. you will use your words accordingly as well. So it depends actually on your market, on your target market. And when you know your people, when you know your persona, and when you know your target customer, you will be able to create a well-structured business strategy and business plan, web design, and basically it will reflect on the development of your website as well. So you need to ask yourself, who are you? What does your store represent? Who are your ideal customers? Who do you want to sell to? You need to project a consistent brand image. So once you have a brand image, a journey that starts with your brand name. So basically, if I am looking forward to open a fashion design for children, let's say. So I need for girls, let's say only girls, for young girls. So we will consider that my brand should consist of pink color. The logo should be funny and playful, so that it attracts my niche, as we call it. And my persona, if I am by myself, let's say a very straightforward person, I won't be able to create a business that is funky and playful, so you need to know who are you and who you are looking forward to sell to, so your target market. Step number 4 is to register your e-commerce business and brand name. Now, once you have your brand name, as we've said here, the journey starts with your brand name. You need to register your e-commerce business and you need to register your brand name. If you want to start a successful business, you need a brand that connects with your persona, which is with your brand itself. Identifying your persona makes building an e-commerce brand easier. You need to know yourself, you need to know what you're representing in your e-commerce website. As an example, you might avoid girly colors and images if you are selling products to corporate businesswomen interested in living a sustainable life. So if my target is corporate businesswoman, I won't be using some girly pictures and colors. I will rather use those colors, the girly colors and pictures, if I'm looking forward to target young women and let's say if it's a fashion for young girls, let's say. Before you set up your store and get into building a brand, there are some basic steps that you need to take. So before you actually start your brand, you need to take a few steps. So first, you need to register your business, choose a business brand name, and register your company. So you need to choose your brand name and register it, because it should be registered so that you are safe legally. There are legal protections and tax benefits for incorporating, so don't skip it. You need to actually register your legal business. Point number 2 is to pick your store name, which is your store name and your domain, so the URL that you will be using. The name of your site and the legal name of your business don't need to be identical. Let's say, as an example, if our company is Creative 971 and I want to have a store name, differently, then it shouldn't be actually identical. But of course, to have brand unity and to make sure that you're consistent, we always suggest that your URL is similar to your store name. Point number 3 is to get your VAT certificate if your business is eligible. So in the UAE, so this is basically more targeted to the people in the UAE, you need to apply for a VAT certificate and to get it if your business is eligible. What do I mean by this? A business must register for VAT if its taxable supplies and imports exceeds 375,000 per year. So if your import and supplies exceeds this amount, then you need to apply for VAT certificate. If it exceeds 187,500,000 per annum, which is per year, then it's optional for you. It's up to you if you would like to register or not. As a business house pays the government, so you will pay the government the tax that is collected from its customer. So let's say you collect tax from the customer, you need to pay it to the government, At the same time, it receives a refund from the government on the tax that is paid to the supplier. So you will pay tax to the supplier when you import your goods. You will pay tax to the supplier. The tax that you are paying to the supplier, you will get it. It will be refunded back to you. The tax that you are receiving from the customer, it will go back to the government. So that's actually the VAT process in the UAE. Point number 4 is to apply for business license and permits. So you need to have business license, which is trade license, in order to have an e-commerce business in the UAE. If you're not familiar with this process, TLZ.ae, so that's our partner, they has plenty of resources to help you get started, as well as small business basics. Look actively for resources. Their advice can be priceless, even for little things. So you need to look for resources. You want people to help you, as when you are starting up, you have limited knowledge of legal stuff and what you actually need to do legally to have your business working and functioning, and as well to operate in the UAE and let's say in Dubai. So if you have any question regarding legal questions and trade license, you could of course visit TLZ. Um, so that's a screen record just to show you their website, which is tlz.ae. That's their website. If you have any questions, you could contact them through the details. It will be displayed now. So as you see, that's, you could just visit their website, read and have an idea about what they do. So you could call them through this number or email them through this email, and they will, of course, ask all your legal questions, and they will help you to actually start up and register your business. One of the smartest decisions one could ever make was finding someone who could show them the ropes. So you need someone to help you. You need someone to guide you through the process. Operating an online store does not exclude you from needing certain business licenses and permits. A lot of people think that if they want to sell online, then they don't need to have any business license. No, that's completely wrong. That's illegal. You need to actually have your business license to operate. So basically, this is just a general information. You would need to check with your city, country, and state to see what sorts of sales tasks, license, or home business license you need, and get those approved before you start opening. So before you actually start working on your e-commerce business, you need to get those things sorted out. Aside from that, as I've discussed, in the UAE, people need to actually have their trade license and VAT certificate if they are eligible to. Point number 5 is to find the right vendors. So you need to find the right vendors, which is the payment gateway, the shipping courier. If you're looking forward to add any third-party applications to your website, let's say if you want to have an ERP system synchronized to your or integrated with your e-commerce business, then you need to find the right vendors for that and the right business partners. You have a lot of competition in selling products online. So it is in your best interest to find the best quality and best prices for the products you sell or materials you use to create your products. Shop around until you find a vendor you want to do business with long term. This includes your e-commerce software as well. Think scalable from the start. So from the start, you need to think that you want to grow big. Don't think that it's okay, I'll start now and I'll see how it goes. That's not the right mindset. You need to think, yes, maybe now the budget does not allow me to actually start very big, but I am planning to expand. So I will put in my business plan phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, how to actually expand my business accordingly. And after that, you need to create your logo. So don't fret over it too much, but do make sure that it is not in use by another company in your niche. So you need to make sure that the logo you're creating and the brand name that you're selecting is not used anywhere else. It should be unique, because we don't want people to confuse your brand with another brand. Logo design doesn't have to be terribly original. However, and really shouldn't. So it shouldn't be very original. You could think out of the box while creating a logo. So just don't think that you need to create a logo, a very simple logo. Just put some effort in your logo, because this will stay with you unless you're thinking of one day to rebrand your full company and rebrand your full business. Then you could, of course, later on change your logo, but logo will stay with you in a long term. People will know your company from the logo and from your brand name. So those two needs to be chosen very, very precisely. Step 5 of how to start an e-commerce business is to finalize your e-commerce business plan. By now, you should have a great idea of what your business will look like. You have your target market, you have your product niche, and your brand name. So all of those are sorted out. Now it's a good time to step back and put your business plan on paper. As I've mentioned, you need to think that you're looking forward to actually grow, and hence you will divide your business plan into several phases: phase one, phase two, phase three. And in each phase, you need to have a timeline for that, and the financial aspects should be calculated as well in the business plan. So you know from here up to 5 or 10 years where you should actually reach, and how big your company and your brand should be. Create your online store. So step 6 is to create your online store. So after you have all of the previous steps mentioned, so after you research your e-commerce business model, start your e-commerce niche research, and and know your target market. Once you register your e-commerce business and brand name, you have finalized then your e-commerce business plan. Once all of those steps are finalized and sorted, now it comes to actually create your online store. A lot of people start from step 6 without actually considering the first 5 steps. So if you're looking forward to start your e-commerce business, follow the steps as mentioned. And in step 6, then here it comes to actually create your online store. Once you've legally registered your business and started thinking about design, you need to register your domain name, which is your URL, and any redirect URLs that might be relevant. This is in terms of, let's say, if you already have a previous website and you would like to actually open a new e-commerce website, and you have some pages, let's say if you have posted several blogs online, and you would need to integrate your blogs in your e-commerce website, then those URLs needs to be redirected so that you're not losing any of the customer traffic. You're going to need the design info you settled on in the last step now when you finally build your store. So now before building your store, you need to design your website. You need to think how you actually want it to look like. What are the colors? What are the fonts? The type of words that you want to use, and so on. Whatever design you chose needs to be compatible with your e-commerce software. So you need to know what e-commerce platform are you looking forward to use. Basically, as we only work on Shopify, then we do recommend Shopify. It's very easy for the startups, and if you're looking forward to open an e-commerce website where you could actually handle it by yourself without hiring people, Shopify is the right platform for you. I cannot judge on other platforms, as usually we're only focusing on Shopify, and I haven't worked in any of the other platforms. So basically, I'm only working on Shopify, and hence I could only give you, let's say, information about Shopify. Shopify is very secure. It's very easy for startups. It's not very expensive for you to start, and there's a lot of varieties, and nowadays it is expanding, and a lot of people are actually demanding Shopify as their e-commerce platform. There are literally hundreds of e-commerce shopping cart platforms, which is e-commerce platforms. Choosing the right e-commerce software is not easy. You need to carefully evaluate things like loading speed, features compatibility with different payment gateway, compatibility with your business structure, and your web developer skills, SEO-friendly features, and many other aspects. All of those aspects are covered with Shopify. The loading speed is maintained, and it's not slow, so the loading speed of the website is actually enhanced. And as well, with the payment gateway, you do have some gateways that you could integrate with Shopify in the UE. You do have some logistic companies that we will be sharing in later on in the course that you could as well integrate it to your Shopify store. It is SEO friendly, and it has a lot of features and applications that you could actually integrate to your website, and many more other features for Shopify and Shopify Plus. Step number 7. Now you have your brand, you've chosen your Shopify platform, you have your website ready, you're ready to launch. You need to think how to attract customers to your e-commerce store. So the hard part, or let's say the initial part, you have covered that. So the initial part is done and ready. Now what you need to think is profit, how to actually gain profit. So attracting customers to your e-commerce store. How are you looking forward to attract customers to your e-commerce store? So the keyword stuffing days of the early 2000s are long gone. But now SEO is alive and well. So now you don't need to stuff your website with a lot of keywords that actually does not make sense. But there is some SEO features that you could actually add your keywords in the SEO section in any of your Shopify platform, and those keywords will only be fetched from Google, and it won't be displayed in your e-commerce website. So basically, if you want, just think of it as hashtags. Recently, if you want to use, or if you want to populate your Instagram post in several pages, what do? You add several hashtags for people to find your post easier. This is similar aspect or concept for the e-commerce and SEO. So SEO is a similar concept of the hashtag. SEO means that you need to use keywords in the SEO section so that Google will fetch and will display your website and your brand to other customers. So the keywords actually need to include it in your SEO section. You need to keep keywords and search terms in mind on each page of your site. So you need to think, what will the users use to search for a product? What are the keywords that they will be using? What are the things that I need to make it to display, or to have it easily displayed for the customer? So all of those points and aspects you need to actually consider it, take it into consideration, and work on it accordingly. Even in your ad, so it's not only about the SEO, you should use the correct URL. So even the URL of each and every page should be checked. You need to check the URL, check if it makes sense. And as well with your ad campaigns, so you need to know that your ad campaigns is having the right keywords, because only then it will be populated. You also need to think about driving traffic to your site, which is marketing. So you need to work on marketing, work on affiliate program. As you know now, a lot of people are following a lot of influencers, so you need to consider affiliate marketing as well. Consider working with influencers to make sure that your brand is reaching to a wide variety of customers. The best e-commerce site invest heavily in online marketing. If you don't have the funds, you better have the elbow grease. So if you don't have the funds, spend time, invest time in actually watching some videos, listen to digital marketing podcasts, and keep a pulse on the digital marketing industry so that you get your full knowledge and you are aware of the marketing tips that you need to use. Now we have finalized how to start an e-commerce business. Let's actually discuss the 5 do's in business startup. Point number 1 is to select a local sponsor, a UAE national for local business startup. So if you're looking forward to open your business in the UAE and not in the free zone, So if you want to open your business in the UAE, then you need to have a local sponsor. So you need to find a local sponsor, and you need to get acquainted with the various facts associated with a business startup in Dubai and avoid the problems encountered while launching a profitable enterprise in the UAE. If you want to grow your business from startup to enterprise in the UAE, then it is highly recommended to open a website, or to have your business located not in the free zone, as there's a lot of advantages for you if you're not opening in a free zone, so it's not limited. You need to actually have a local sponsor to do that. So there are plenty of business opportunity available in Dubai, as well as in other Emirates as well. However, if you really want to start a business that much exploit the potential of Dubai, so if you want your business to be to actually be compatible, and if you want your business to compete with other brands and to make sure that you're always on top, then you need to operate in Dubai and or in other Emirates as well, and hence you would need to have a local sponsor. The local sponsor must be taken as a 51% partner, so they should be from the UAE nationality as well. So that's basically the legal aspect of having an e-commerce or any business operating in Dubai or any other city or Emirates of UAE. Or otherwise, if you want to own your business 100%, then you need to select a free zone. Keep in mind that the only way for a business startup in the UAE to start without taking any UAE national acting as your partner is to locate your business in one of the free zones. When you locate your business in one of the free zones, there are some limitations, I could say, if you want to grow your business. But if you are looking to start first by owning your business brand 100%, then you could definitely select a free zone. You could check with a trade license zone as well. They will help you with that. This is not practical for business that must be in city markets like restaurants and retail stores. Also, business that work with the government, they have to be registered with a local sponsor. So if you're a restaurant or if you would like to operate and must be in the city markets, then having a business in free zone won't work for you. Not to mention the fact that purchase or rental in a free trade zone district might be high for your budget to handle. So to actually have a rental store in a free trade zone, it's a bit expensive. For a business startup, free zone offer three great advantages. So we've discussed the difficulties. Now let's discuss the advantages. First, you're having 100% ownership. Second, you're having a speedy startup, as the process is a bit quicker. And point three is the duty-free customs boundary. So you don't need to actually pay any duty-free customs. And then the third thing to actually do is to select a location that optimize suitability, convenience, and cost. Another important step in planning a business startup in Dubai is to determine the most suitable location for your business. So you need to actually select your business location. It should be suitable for you. Profit-wise, it shouldn't be expensive, of course, and it should be a suitable location, basically. So setting up a profit-based enterprise in the city wouldn't do you much good despite the growing economy if your customers or client can't reach you. So if you are located in a far place that is very cheap, if your customers and client won't be able to reach you, then actually it won't be very beneficial for you. So you need to find that balance between the location and the convenience, and as well the cost. You need to set up your business in an area that is most profitable for your business or most convenient for your business. So both of them, just try to find the balance and find a good location. A location in the right city can be selected for a shop or an office. is most known for the type of products or service you are dealing with. So I'll just give an example as Creative 971. Creative 971 is located in Dubai. Why aren't we located in Abu Dhabi or in any other Emirates of the UAE? Because mainly our customers, our clients are located in Dubai. So we want to make meetings easier for our clients. We should be able to travel to their offices easily, and they should be able to come to our office without any, long travel and long duration. Yes, we do have customers from Abu Dhabi or from other cities as well, but the majority of our clients are from Dubai, are living in Dubai actually, and hence our business is locating in Dubai. So you need to think the same way as well. Point number 4 is to confirm your visa eligibility and requirement. For a business startup in the UAE, a visa permitting you and employees to live in the UAE is essential to run your business. So you need to have visa for you and for UAE as well, for your employees, I mean. Visas are allowed for almost all businesses. However, their number varies according to the variety of the criteria, such as size of the office, nature of the business, the category of the employee or the investor. So, if you're having a small office, then you're just allowed with a limited number of employees, and depending on your office space, the number of employees could expand, and hence you're able to actually have more employees under your company and under your visa. So those aspects as well, you need to check it with the legal department and understand how many employees are you looking forward to have, or how many employees are you allowed to have in with your business, I mean. If your business startup in Dubai is a local company, then you definitely need to work with your sponsor to get your visa, at least for the first time. So if you're having a local sponsor, to get your visa, you need to actually work with your local sponsor at the first time. Point number 5 is to hire a registration agent to take up through the process of business startup. So you need to hire a registration agent. They will help you and they will guide you through the full process from A to Z. If you're having support from others, then it's always better for you. It is time efficient and sometimes it is cost efficient for you. However, you're still paying them. You're still paying those. Let's say if you're looking forward to communicate with trade license zone, and you're looking forward to get their help, then of course you would need to pay them some fees. But at the end, it will be time consuming and it will be cost effective. Why? Because they will give you the best possible options that match and suits your business. Now, let's go to point 3 of the today's agenda, which is how payment gateway work. So basically, whatever information I'll be discussing now, it's a bit technical, but it is important for you to understand how it works and just for you to know the basic steps that your e-commerce website will take in order to complete the purchase. After that, I will be discussing some payment gateway examples that you could communicate with and actually negotiate the contract with them. Now, how does it work? The customers first process the place order button at checkout. The browser will encrypt the payment details and send it to the merchant web server via SSL connection. So basically, it is being sent to the SSL connection. Once it is sent to the merchant web server, the merchant will send those details to the gateway. Again, via an encrypted SSL connection, just for security reasons. Point number 3, after that is done, the payment gateway will then send the information to the payment processor, which is your bank, which in turn will forward it to the card association, and then comes the authorization process. Once the bank that issues the credit card receives an authorization request, it will send the request code back to the payment processor, and it will of course send it to the the customer needs to input the authorization. The response code contains information about the transaction status, so whether it's approved or failed, and the error code in case the transaction is failed. So the bank will actually send those details to the payment processor, and it will send whether what it should display if the payment failed, let's say due to no funds or wrong password or wrong security authorization code or whatsoever reason that could be. Once that is done, the payment processor will send the response code to the gateway, and from there it is forwarded back to the website. Now, as you see, there's a lot of steps. Once all of those steps are completed, the website displays a relevant message to the customer, whether it's placed successfully or not, and the whole process takes 2 to 3 seconds. So you can see from the customers, it goes to your online shop. From your online shop, it is passed to the payment gateway and then back to your payment processing network. From there, it sends the authorization code to the customer, and once the customer input the authorization code, the payment processor will then send the response code on the gateway to the website, and eventually your internet merchant account will send the final display message on your online shop. The full process takes only 2 to 3 seconds. It's unbelievable. Now, those technical details, it's only for you to have a background of how it actually happens. You don't need to code it. You don't need to actually worry about the full process. You only need to select the right vendors. You only need to select and choose the right company, the right payment gateway that works with your business and works as well with your company. So one option is PayPal. For Shopify, I'll just be explaining about Shopify. If you're looking forward to integrate PayPal to Shopify, the only thing that you need to consider is your store should be in dollars. So your store currency should be in dollars and not AED. You could have multi-currency viewer in your website, which will view the product prices in AED, but only the final step will be calculated in dollars. Teller is a very good payment gateway that is compatible with Shopify as well. It's one of the most well-known payment gateways in the UAE, which can provide multiple popular payment methods. So you could check Teller, you could check their website and communicate with them. And according to the, let's say, to the price, according to the contract, to the features that they will provide you, to the percentage and all of those aspects, then you can make your decision. Another example as well is Payforit. Payforit is great, and you could actually integrate it to your Shopify store easily. This is an Amazon company. It operates in Arabic speaking as well, and surrounding countries such as UAE, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Jordan, and Qatar. So it's an excellent payment gateway that accepts proceed multiple online payment methods as well. The security of all of those payment gateways that I'm mentioning, they are very secure. So they are having high securities in order to minimize transaction risks in your site and boost your revenue as well. Aside from those, we have additional payment gateways such as checkout.com and tocheckout.com. So those are, let's say, some of the examples of payment gateways that you could directly communicate with after the course today, just to get an idea about the pricing, the percentage, and what they will be able to offer your business. Now, let's hop on the last part, which is examples of delivery services. So we do have DHL for Shopify. DHL is having an direct integration with Shopify. You could actually create shipping labels easily. You could add additional delivery services for your customers' convenience. You could conventionally create handover notes as well and generate automatic tracking codes through DHL. So that's actually the DHL application in Shopify. That's one DHL, let's say, or shipping courier service or shipping courier that you may consider integrating to your e-commerce platform. Another example could be Armex. So as you all know, Armex, it's having as well an application to Shopify. It is compatible with Shopify, and you could, integrate it to your Shopify store. Through Armex as well, you're able to print your shipping label and to proceed with the, with the regular procedures. So you are directly integrating with RMX backend system, including their pickup system, delivery network, and their rate calculator as well. So the shipping rate will be calculated according to RMX, and even the same with DHL. In a few easy steps, you can power up your site to start receiving order throughout the world. So it is worldwide. DHL as well is having local and worldwide shipments. Aside from those, we have Posta Plus as well. So if you're looking forward to check with Posta Plus, you could definitely check it. Check with them, I mean. By this, we have completed our today's webinar. So the main course, we've covered everything to actually start a successful e-commerce business. Just to brief you on what we usually do, we do UI UX design, we do web development, app development, consultancy, training, data integration, and digital marketing as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us through this phone number. Otherwise, you could drop us an email through info@creative971, or of course, you can follow us on our Instagram account, which is at creative971. And we usually post all our upcoming webinars with the TRA through our social media. So please make sure to follow us for updates. If you have any questions, I can see that there are some people who have asked me some questions. I just go through the questions now to answer your questions. Registering the e-commerce store doesn't need an extra license, or the trade license is enough? The trade license is enough to have to actually operate your e-commerce business. So as long as you have your trade license, you could have your e-commerce business associated with the trade license. So that's enough. But as mentioned, if your business is eligible for VAT, then please make sure to have your VAT certificate as well. Please let me know if I've answered your questions, and if you have another question, please feel free to ask. Safe have asked as well, do we need a separate license for online store even though there's a license for the business? No, as I've mentioned. So Safe and I think Muhammad Tariq, they've asked the same question. So you only need to have your trade license and VAT certificate if your business is eligible or entitled to. Muhammad Tariq asked, what are the limitations? Can you please let me know in terms of what? So what are the limitations of what part are you referring to actually? Is it just so that I could answer your question? Because I don't know limitations of what. So please clarify the question. Muhammad Tariq, even if you are registered in free zone, you can operate anywhere in the country. You could operate, but what I am talking about is if you want to open a store, if you want to open a retail store along with your e-commerce business, and if you want your retail store to be in the city markets, then it's hard for you to actually, you won't be able to actually have let's say a retail store in the city of Dubai if you are registered under, if your business is operating through free zone. Free zone, you could definitely operate through e-commerce business if you are looking forward to ship from your place to let's say to the customers or to the clients, you could do so. But as I've mentioned, let's say meeting with your clients, sometimes it may be a bit difficult. It depends on the actual location and those kind of aspects. So I've mentioned, if you're looking forward to have a restaurant, if your business plan or your business strategy needs to be operating in the city market, then having a free zone business won't be, it won't work with you. But otherwise, if you're looking forward to start with an e-commerce business, that you're importing your stuff and everything is being processed through the free zone, you only need to ship to your customers, then this completely works as well. Let me know, please, if I've answered your questions. Um, Okay, so the limitation for registering in a free zone, as I've mentioned, the location of your store, let's say the location of your business, if it is suitable for you, if it works for you, then it works. But it does not work for everyone, as I've mentioned. It depends actually on your business. As mentioned, again, if it's a restaurant or if your business is requiring you to actually operate through the city or from the city, then you need to have a local sponsor. Otherwise, you could 100% operate from a free zone as long as your full business operation is happening from the free zone itself. And Meme is asking, what is the best platform to start a business website? To answer your question, as I've mentioned, we work solely only with Shopify. So I would definitely recommend Shopify. I haven't worked with other platforms before, but for a startup, Shopify is the right platform for you to use in terms of financials, in terms of speed, in terms of security, in terms of ease. If you want to operate your business by yourself, you could start with Shopify. And you could check Shopify as well. Just visit their website, check their business, check the platform. It is very straightforward. It's very easy, and they're having customer service and live chat that you could usually ask them, and they solve and sort your issues very quickly as well. Anytime, Muhammad. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me again. Any questions are welcomed. I think I've covered the questions that you have asked previously. I'm very honored with your participation. Thank you a lot for all of the great messages and questions. If you have any other questions, please ask again. Anytime, it's my pleasure. So basically, before we wrap it up, let me just summarize what I've discussed until any of you just ask any new question. So basically, we've discussed how to start an e-commerce business. Step 1 is to research your e-commerce business model. Step 2 is to start your e-commerce niche research. Step 3 is to know your target market and your persona and your product idea as well. Once that is done, then you need to register your e-commerce business and brand name. After that, you could finalize your e-commerce business plan. So you need to plan your business in several phases. You need to think and put in your mind that you're looking forward to grow. You want to reach globally. You're not only a small startups that is starting a business, and you are actually planning to grow. Once you have this mindset, then you will have the motivation to work harder, and your business will actually be very successful, inshallah. And then you need to actually create your online store, and after that you could attract customers to your e-commerce store. And after that, we've discussed the 5 do's in business startups: what to do, whether to select a local sponsor if you're looking forward to operate from the city. If you're looking forward to own your business 100%, then you could go to a free zone. Just go to a free zone and select your free zone and operate from there. Otherwise, you could select a location. So point 3 is to actually select a suitable location for you in terms of the city, the convenience, the suitability, and the cost as well. Point 4 is to confirm your visa. So you need to have visa. And after that, we've discussed how the payment gateway work. We have given an example of Teller, Payforit, PayPal, checkout.com. To checkout as well is an example that you could use. And we've discussed the example of delivery, which is DHL, Armex, and Posta Plus. Safe mentioned, how can we track physical inventory when customers are purchasing products? Does Shopify provide that? Yes, Shopify do track inventory. So you just need to place or inform you just need to set the quantity of the product through Shopify. If you're only selling from your Shopify store, then automatically it will calculate the inventory. Once the product is out of stock, then it will mention that the product is out of stock, and clients or users won't be able to purchase that item anymore. So this is an advantage as well of operating or having a Shopify platform. Dark is asking how to make the voice. I think you mean how to make an invoice. So if your question is how to actually make an invoice, the Shopify platform, if you're having, let's say your e-commerce platform should provide you with an invoice, or otherwise you could have your internal invoice, layout, and you could actually print your invoice from there. But Shopify automatically generate invoices for orders, and you could directly print it through Shopify. Even some of the delivery couriers that I've mentioned, such as DHL, RMX, and Posta Plus, they provide you with shipping labels, and some of them are able to actually print invoice from let's say you could actually print your invoice through those delivery courier, or you could, if you want to enhance your invoice and you want to actually customize your invoice, then you could directly just use any add-ons that allows you to customize the invoice from Shopify. For a large-scale business, can employees access and be able to edit the inventory instead of the admin? Yes, definitely. So you could allow access to your staff, and your staff could directly, update it through Shopify. That's totally possible, but it depends on your Shopify plan. Some Shopify plans allow a limited staff accounts, so you could have 5, 15, or even unlimited if you're Shopify Plus. So you could definitely do that through Shopify. Yes. Is there any question before we wrap up the course? Please do let me know. I'm very happy with your questions. Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you so much for being very active. Thank you so much for the course, and looking forward to see you again in our previous courses. Bye-bye and have a good day.